Hello class 7 students, welcome back to my class. Today we will continue part 2 and the final part of Selfish Giant story. Okay, please take out your textbook and follow me, okay? Page number 36. Okay, in the last class we were talking about the giant's garden had started blooming and spring came in his garden, but there was in one corner still winter, right? So we will continue from here, okay, and we will read and understand the story more. It was a lovely scene, but in one corner it was still winter. It was the farthest corner of the garden, and in it was standing a little boy, okay. So here we saw that the spring started coming in giant's garden, okay. The flower was started blooming, okay. So there little boy was there, okay, in his garden, one small boy. He was so small that he could not reach up to the branches of the tree, okay, and he was wandering all around it, crying bitterly. So that boy, he was so tiny that he couldn't climb in any tree in that garden, so he was crying bitterly and going here and there. The poor tree was still covered with frost and snow, and the north winds was blowing and roaring above it. Climb up, little boy, said the tree, okay, and it bends its branches down as low as it could, but the boy was so tiny, okay. Now here still there was one corner that there was still winter, right, in that garden. So even the tree was covered with snow, and then even tree was trying to help out the boy, that please you climb up to me on my branches. I will bend down my branches, okay. Even the tree was helping the small boy, but boy couldn't climb because he was too tiny. The giant's heart melted as he looked out, okay. So the giant heart melted means I hope all of you might be knowing it. Melted means his heart become very good, okay. Melted, M-E-L-T-E-D, melted. How selfish I have been, he said. Now I know why spring would not come here. I will put that poor little boy on the top of the tree, and then I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever. He was really sorry for what he had done, okay. So the giant heart becomes so good, just to see that small boy, and he was telling himself that how selfish I have been. I was not willing to share my garden, beautiful garden, to the children's, okay. So that's why spring did not come to my garden, okay. So he decided to knock down, he decided to break down the wall, okay. Knock means hit something, okay. So he broke down all the wall, okay, and he said that this beautiful garden will be a playground, for the children, okay. So he crept downstairs and opened the front door quite softly and went out into the garden. So giant, he crept downstairs. He went downstairs slowly, okay. Crept means this is past tense of creep, okay. So that means he was going down slowly, moving down slowly. Opened the door softly and went out into the garden, okay. He went to the garden. But when the children saw him, they were so frightened that they all ran away, and the garden was in winter again, okay. So children's, they were so scared of giant. When they saw him, all of them, they ran away. Only the little boy did not run, for his eyes were full of tears that he did not see the giants coming, okay. So only the little boy was there, okay. So he did not see giant that he was coming behind him. The giant stole up behind him and took him gently in his hands and put him up into the tree, okay. So the giant, he hold that little boy gently and put him into the tree. And when he put the boy into the tree, what happened? Let's see here. The tree broke at once into blossoms, and birds came and sang on it, okay. So here it's very interesting. When he hold the little boy and put him into the tree, in his garden, the flowers started blooming, birds started coming. It's so amazing, right? Okay, the little boy stretched out his two arms and flung them around the giant's neck and kissed him. Okay, so when the giant did that like that to boy, when he hold the boy and put him in the tree, the boy, what did he do? He, suddenly, all of a sudden, he flung them around. He, flung on his shoulder, and then he kissed him. Flung means push suddenly. Okay, flung. When the other children saw that the giant was not wicked any longer, they came running back, and with them come the spring. Okay, so when the giant saw that he is not a bad man anymore, wicked means he was so bad. Okay, very bad, but he become good. Okay, when they saw him that he become good, all of them, they ran towards him. Okay, so what did giant said? It is your garden now. Okay, he was so happy. He said, it is your garden now, little children, said the giant. He took a great axe and knocked down the wall. Okay, so he decided to break his wall, and then he took big axe. Axe means, all of you must be knowing it, right? Axe means it is a tool. With this we cut wood, right? So he took his big axe and then broke his wall. And when the people were going to market at 12 o'clock, they found the giants playing with the children in the most beautiful garden they had ever seen. Okay, so when the giant was playing with all the children, people were going for their marketing to buy vegetables, this and that thing at 12 o'clock. They saw him playing with the children, and his garden was full of flowers, looked so beautiful, amazing. All day long they played, and in the evening they went up to the giant and he said to him goodbye. Okay, so all of them, as usual, after playing, evening they go home and they say bye to giant. But where is your little companion? He said, the boy I put on the top of the tree. The giant loved him the most because he had kissed him. Okay, so the giant was asking the children, where is your friend? I really miss him. Okay, because that boy, small boy, he had kissed the giant, so that's why he felt so good, and he loved him so much. So children said, we don't know, answered the children. He has gone away. You must tell him to be sure to come tomorrow, said the giant. But the children said that they did not know where he lived and had never seen him before. The giant felt very sad. Okay, so the giant was looking for that small boy and asking the children, all the children, to bring him back next day. So they said, we don't know about him, where does he live? So giant felt so bad, He was feeling very sad after hearing that. Every afternoon when school was over, the children came and played with the giant, but the little boy whom the giant loved was not seen again. Okay, so every afternoon, as usual, children after the school, they come to the giant's garden and play, but the giant couldn't see anymore the small boy. The giant was very kind to all the children, yet he longed for his first little friend. Okay, so definitely he enjoyed being with all the children, but he was really missing that small boy. Years went by and the giant grew very old and feeble. Okay, so years went by means he became so old. Okay, the giant became very old and he became very feeble, means very weak. Okay, physically he became very weak. Okay, feeble. He could not play about with anyone, so he sat in a huge armchair and watched the children at their games and admired his garden. I have many beautiful flowers, he said, but the children's are the most beautiful flowers of all. Okay, now this giant, he always enjoyed being with the children's, and he became very old and he couldn't play with them. So he took his big armchair, and then he was sitting there and he was enjoying looking at the children's playing their games. Okay, so he was telling by himself that I have many beautiful flowers in my garden, but children's are the most beautiful flower of all. One winter morning, he looked out of his window as he was dressing. Okay, early in the morning in the winter season, he woke up and then he was putting his dress, and all of a sudden he saw something very interesting. Okay, let's see. Suddenly he rubbed his eyes in wonder and looked, and it certainly was a marvelous sight. Okay, So when he woke up in that morning, he saw very interesting things. Marvelous means extremely good, okay? Marvelous means extremely good. In the farthest corner of the garden was a tree quite covered with lovely white blossom, okay? So in the corner of the garden, he saw something very different, okay? White blossom with the white flower, okay? The branches were golden and even the silver fruits were silver, okay? So hung down from them. Underneath it stood the little boy he had loved, okay? So in that beautiful tree, below that, underneath means below, okay? Underneath. Underneath means below. So below the tree, the small boy was standing. Downstairs ran in the giant in great joy, and out into the garden he hastened across the grass and went towards the child. But when he came quite close, his face grew red with anger, and he said, "Who has dared to wound you?" For on the palm of the child's hands were the print of 2 nails and the prints of the little feet, okay? So when the giant saw the little boy was under the tree, he ran from his downstairs, okay? Because he was so happy that he could able to see the downstairs. Ran the giant in great joy and out into the garden. Okay, so the giant was so happy and excited. After many years, he could able to see that small boy, and he ran towards him, okay? He hastened across the grass and went towards the child, okay? So the giant, he moved quickly, okay? Hasten means move quickly. But when he came quite close to, his face grew red with anger, and he said, okay, "Who has dared to wound you?" Okay, when he came near the boy, he was so angry, okay? He saw something on his palm, okay? So he was so angry. For on the palms of the child's hand were the prints of 2 nails and the prints of the little feet, okay? So, the giant saw him that on his palms there was nails, print of 2 nails, okay? Someone scratched him on his palms, even on his feet, little feet, and he was so angry, okay? So he asked the little boy, "Who has dared to wound you?" The little boy asked. The giant asked the little boy, okay? So cried the giant, "Tell me that I may take my big sword and slay him," okay? The giant said that, I will take out my big sword and I will slay means I will kill him, okay? Slay means I will kill him, okay? So he was even willing to kill that small boy to whom, I don't know who hurt him. He was so angry, okay? "No," answered the child, "but these are wounds of love," okay? So the small boy answered to him that this is our wounds of love, okay? "Who are you?" okay, said the giant. So giant asked him, and then something